Sometimes, just sometimes, I'm asking myself, what am I even doing on the internet? It's been one of those days where I've been browsing the YouTube and this come up on my feed. What's the likelihood that the Sinners already had the sex in Limbus Company? Not gonna lie, sometimes I am so amazed about these like 5-head ideas, like who come up with these titles. Obviously, I feel like this is the topic that, I cannot ignore. I'm actually like curious. Do actually people care about these things? Maybe better question, is it really that important? Maybe we gotta figure out today. Let's go.
There are many unsolved mysteries in the world of Limbus Company. For example, what is Dante's true identity? The goal of
That's a good question.
Limbus Corp, Don and Ishmael's true size, and the greatest mystery of all, did the sinners have sex?
Is this really the
To answer
greatest
that
mystery?
question, we are gonna use this tier list.
Wait a minute, show me the tier list. Okay, so I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. Almost certainly did have a sex, high possibility, maybe, unlikely. Almost certainly a virgin. Well, that's gotta be Sinclair. Do you genuinely guys liking these type of like tier list? Maybe I should do my own, but you know, a little bit different topic.
Use this tier list. Starting from the bottom is the almost certainly a virgin category.
Sinclair, without a
Now,
doubt.
I use the word almost because there is currently no 100% confirmation that any of them is still pure. So, we can let our imagination go wild. Progressing to the top, there's unlikely, maybe, high possibility.
I would say unlikely is gonna be Donkey Kong. Like, there has to be some really super high energy, like, dude to kind of match this, you know, vibe, so, I don't
And
know.
almost certainly did it tier. Again, I use almost because there's no confirmation yet. Ryoshi
Is that
might change that.
Is that actually some kind of like confirmation when it comes to like these things in the Limbus? Just for a reminder, so far I am up to Kanto 3, so I don't know if it go, you know, a little bit beyond, you know, a little bit more crazy, but I don't know, like overall, I just can't comprehend. Maybe there's gonna be some reproduction spoilers for the Kanto or the following Kantos, but honestly, I really hope not.
Speaking of Ryoshu, I will separate the sinners that already have their own kanto from the ones that don't. For sinners that don't have one, because we don't have much information, I will
Okay.
be using their literature book as a baseline. Please note that I haven't read most of the book, so I'll be using the reliable source that is reddit.com. For the ones that have, we will be mainly using their story in the game because it can be very different compared to the respective book, though we can certainly use the book if there's some additional information needed. Also, I won't be counting the ships on the bus because it will be very unfair, and I'm pretty sure Dante organized private sessions for the sinners every week. Anyways, with everything explained, let's get started with the first sinner.
I would
Gregor
say
is pretty much a
he's...
virgin, the reason being his Mr. Crab-like arm.
What? I would be saying like he seems to be like a normal guy, so like assuming based on, you know, being normal, it's more likely to... What?
If he experiences too much emotion, the arm will go wild and kill his partner.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. But maybe some chicks like it, who knows?
It's good when in an active war zone, not really good when trying to be in a relationship.
Oh no!
He got the arm when he was 16, so there just
Oopsie.
isn't time for him to find a partner before that. Now, of course, he could have done it before the arm was installed, but I think that's a bit too far-fetched to imagine. Her relationship with Sonya is confirmed to be childhood friends. There are many implications as to being a childhood friend. Or maybe I've read too many hentais. Anyways,
Maybe.
unlike Gregor, who has a concrete reason for being virgin, there isn't anything that's
Okay, I think I'm going on the same level now, but maybe, you know, he can just like build some wall that he can put the hands through the wall, lock the chain, and then, you know, having... But also, like, as I'm talking about it, having a girl who would agree to do such a thing must be crazy. Either way, I'm gonna be genuinely shocked if Sinclair is about the Gregor.
suggests Rania hasn't done it, nor is there anything that suggests that she already did it. It would make sense to put her in the unlikely tier.
I would put her
However,
maybe.
This is my video, and I'm biased, so I would like to put her in the maybe tier. A lot of theories
Okay.
suggest that she is above 25 at the time of the arrival of the bus. If I had to spend a quarter of a century with someone hot and sexy like Sanya, I wouldn't be able to control myself. Sorry, Gregor,
Okay.
but I like this ship way more.
최선을 다해볼게.
He is almost certainly a virgin.
Thank you.
I don't think being a vice leader of a class will get you any bitches, and his relationship with Cromer is laid out pretty clear in his
Yeah, like after seeing the Canto 3, if this dude gonna touch some girl, I think it's gonna be like celebration on its own.
Kanto, which implies that he didn't land it with her. Now, one thing to
No
note
touchy
is that there's a
touchy.
massive time gap between him waking up after being knocked out by Cromer's goon and joining Limbus Company, and it is certainly a possibility that he did something during that time. However, I don't think you would have the mood to do it after seeing your family get brutally murdered, even if you were offered it for free. So he is pretty much staying in this tier. Also, fun
Forever.
fact, Sinclair's love
Yeah.
interest in the book is Damien's mom.
Ooh, okay.
Yi-sang is a typical workaholic who probably isn't very interested in finding love. As a matter of fact, I think Yi-sang would rather listen to an audiobook about women's anatomy to pleasure himself rather than going out to get a girlfriend. Anyways,
Okay.
his relationship with girls in his past most probably are just stuck being coworkers, though the possibility of them having a more romantic relationship
I mean, hey,
isn't
there's a
out of the
chance.
equation. So it would make sense to put it in the unlikely tier.
Well, that's kind of reasonable.
She probably scissors with Kui Kwang every single day. Unlike every Sinners we've talked about until now, Ishmael's relationship with Kui Kwang is much deeper and more intimate. Oh, me and her are just friends. Yeah, I know you've been fucking each other. I just can't prove it. Unfortunately, unless there's a 24/7 4K HD camera on the
Oh
boat
my
that captured
God.
both of them having the ground pound, we would have to settle on them being just friends. However,
Yeah,
this is
just
still
friends.
a better candidate than everyone we've talked about so far, so I think Ishmael firmly sits in the maybe. He most likely saved his first time for though we can definitely explore more on his revenge.
I mean, his kind of personality, it definitely attract a lot of, at least like based on my kind of environment, I've seen a bunch of these type of guys and they always having, you know, a lot of bitches. So I would say he definitely did. Like if there are like, so far, when it comes to all these sinners, this one is the most likely to.
There's a possibility
get
that
laid.
to prove he is a worthy man, he could have went out and found a girl himself. I mean, that's what he did to Linton's sister in the actual book. There's also a possibility that Heathcliff already did it with
What the fuck?
but his content wouldn't even happen in the first place if he actually got the balls. At the end, it's just all speculation, and I think that it's more of a logical option to put him in the
Don't tell me it's gonna be
virgin
almost.
tier.
What? You gotta be crazy. Okay, hold on, let's pause it here. So, if this dude is almost certainly a virgin, I would put half of this literally on this tier as well. Heron is probably gonna be, well, unless she did it with the bus, almost certainly, you know, the very bottom. Vergilius, hell, like certainly, you know, at the very bottom. Dante, well, because we don't know a lot about this dude, at least yet, I would put him maybe. Faust, definitely, certainly, almost certainly a V card. I would say Otis, slightly unlikely. Mersault, that's actually a really tough question. Because he barely speaks. He could be like one of those dudes who, you know, don't talk about much, but, you know, when it comes to the action, he just, you know, go for a shot. I would put Bersold high possibility as well as Hanglu. Ryoshu will be, I don't know, maybe, because like, I don't know her story, but it could be like one of those things that maybe she starts to be grumpy after like someone dump on her, you know? And Don Quixote, very unlikely, based on her
In the
personality.
virgin tier.
Very
This would
unlikely.
be the easiest to answer if we are talking about the current Dawn. Because number one, she probably doesn't even know what sex is. Number two, her first actual human interaction after losing her memory is Virgilius inviting her to the bus. Not very romantic. If not Dawn, then let's talk about Sancho. We could go for the non-related Incensia route, but seeing her behavior towards her father, I don't see it happening. Dulcinea and Nicolia kinda hate
Okay, I understand that there's gonna be some spoilers. It's okay, guys. Basically, by the time I'm gonna get into this kanto, I will even forgot what was in the kanto 3, so...
Their guts, so that's out of the equation too. Now, there
There's
could be
some really nice
speculation about the
pictures.
time before she got turned into a blood fiend. However, I don't think Project Moon would discuss that timeline. We will have to work with what we got, and because of that, I'm fairly certain that she's a virgin.
I mean, like, when we thinking about it, almost everyone is unlikely or almost certainly a virgin, and very few is gonna be maybe. I don't feel like this is such a, like, a Guna game, things like that. And I don't know, like, this kind of direction seems to be not much realistic, especially, like, in that world. Honglu.
He's currently the only one in the group to have a fiance, which means he must be high on the list, right? Well, actually, no. We know from the story that Swell
What? Okay, this is probably the information that I won't forget, but I wouldn't record this video if I'm totally okay with some spoilers. And to be fair, like, speaking about it, this video is still far more spoiler friendly than reading a live chat or sometimes some messages in the comments, so just pick your poison, you know what I mean? But the fact, like, he got a female next to him, I would understand maybe it's, you know, arranged marriage, but there still has to be like some kind of, you know, some kind of physical connection.
His fiance is marrying him for political reasons. Is it purely political, or some love is actually there? We don't know. But it's implied that she wants to establish power for her family first before touching Honglu, which, spoiler, she didn't. As for Linda Yu, she only has a positive attitude towards Honglu after the family hierarchy evaluation. Their relationship for a period of time was
so basically
sour.
nobody.
Same for Sichun.
Nobody getting liked in Limbus.
Now, the Honglu in the book is an absolute freak, doing it with both men and women. However, Honglu in the game is a completely different person. He's naive because of someone, doesn't have any materialistic or romantic desire, not even any goal in mind really, which is kind of the plot for his kanto. So, despite a lot of people saying he already did it because he's a rich kid, I don't see any reason for him to do it.
Dude is almost certainly a virgin. What the hell is this tier? Remind you, Yiseng is the one who's been really calm, barely making any contact, and this dude is about the dude who literally having a chick. And let's disregard some like political reasoning, things like that. You never know like what's beyond the curtain, right? But the fact that if the guy who actually having a woman and potentially having much more likelihood to having a sex, even though there is some like political reasoning, things like that, over the guy who's literally, you know, focusing like workaholic. I think this tier is basically like screwed when it comes to this particular niche. I am genuinely shocked, ladies and gentlemen.
I can be the one to change that. Now that we've discussed everyone with a kanto, let's discuss the rest of the sinners.
Virgin.
If anyone deserves,
like, let's be real. No. I kind of feel like I know this dude's gonna put her like somewhere, either maybe or high possibility, but like after hearing all these sinners previously, she has to be like virgin as well.
to be in the highest tier, it's Ryoshu. The major plot in her book is that she had a daughter, but unfortunately, the child died. And having a child should mean that you've taken a rot up your oven.
Oh, really?
Now, there is a teeny tiny chance that she conceived through artificial insemination. But like, it's Ryoshu we're talking about. To her, it's like
so
using
maybe
AI
that's why she's
generated
so
image.
grumpy.
Anyways, there's a lot of implication that she does indeed have, or used to have, a child in the actual game. The dozens of times she flinched when someone mentions the word family, or the time in spring cultivation when she was really good with kids. Now, according to
I mean, it could be, you know, sister or, you know, kids overall.
the roadmap, Ryoshu's kanto will be the next to come out, and it will be very ironic if all of my predictions turn out wrong.
I mean, let's be real. Like, so far, what I'm hearing is this tier is rigged. This tier is surely biased.
But hey, if that happens, I'll make a separate video to milk more revenue.
Yeah, do it. I would like to see the part 2, like, genuinely. I feel like there's been a little bit miscalculation when it comes to these things. I don't know. Maybe as a male who actually, like, physically touched some opposite gender, I feel like this list should be a little bit different, but yeah.
We could use the one line he said during Kanto 4 to determine his ranking. When everyone was confused and nervous about having to go to a bar.
Yeah, whatever he's gonna say, he's the one who's behaving like with really high confidence. He's also kind of meticulous. He barely speaks. He kind of in a way reminding me myself. And I know for a fact these type of guys getting late, ladies and gentlemen. This guy did it.
Mersalt shocked everyone with his experience going to one in search of life's joys. In his book, he is also a very experienced man, so everything is pointing to him already did it. Not as definitive as Ryoshu's case.
No. If there is someone who did it, it's literally Mersalt, period.
Though I would say, so I'm putting him in the likely tier.
I'm leaving. I'm starting to feel I'm starting to feeling triggered, and this is such a not important and like really stupid video, like in a way. I'm not saying I'm not enjoying the video, I'm saying, you know, the concept who did it and who did not is kind of stupid like overall. And I don't know, I guess also based on some, you know, personal experience and like experience around my environment speaks a little bit differently. So I'm genuinely shocked, like what the hell is this tier list?
In the Odyssey,
I'm lost.
Aldous left his wife and kids
I've gotta
to
go
fight
for
in
maybe.
the war. If there's anything to go by it, Aldous would be on the same level as Ryoshu. Plus, she's a hot, sexy, looks.
I mean, come on, like, what is this? I'm pretty sure some of you guys would love to see this character, like, this way, but that's a different character, okay? This is not Otis as we know it. This is like Otis 3.0. This is Otis from Limbus of Gooning, not the company.
Sexy, looks way sharper for a 40-year-old something age woman.
I'm about to blow.
I know you want her. Don't need to pretend. Though, to be fair, the fact that she was in the military for most of her life and her personality is kind of ass reduces her chance quite a bit. But surely somebody had to have.
That still doesn't mean that she's not open-minded. There are certain group of women or the females who acting this way and still are open to having, let's say, some physical romance, okay? Overall, I don't think this is a valid argument for Otis to be on really low tier.
Approach her at some point,
But we'll
right?
see.
High possibility that she had sex.
Okay, that's fair. I would put her like maybe overall.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest.
That's
I
a
don't know
hard
what
pass.
Kim Ji-hoon would do to Faust. Like, at least with Ryoshu and Aldous, there's like a safe theme to go off of. Faust and Gretchen's relationship is probably not a good
She's
thing
married
to go
to
off of.
Calculus.
Anyway, there are a
So
lot
no.
of theories going on, but I'll just ignore all of them and ask, would Faust be interested in sex? Well, maybe. I mean, if you want to learn all the knowledge there is to offer, then she'll.
Maybe if you say like, hey, do you wanna come to my room? I have a huge encyclopedia of, you know, history of mathematics and the physics. And plus, I have extended version of algebra. Maybe after that, you would stand a chance. Otherwise, hell no.
At one point you need to learn about it. But considering how sex is sort of a taboo subject in the city, I think she'll be like Yi-sang and just stick to books about men's anatomy. Unlikely tier.
This tier is rigged. I still can't believe Heathcliff and Honglu is almost certainly, while these two, just statistically speaking from like normal human behavior, these two are almost certainly on the very bottom of the list. I swear, like if Charon is gonna be almost certainly did have, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
There are just too many theories as to who, or even what Dante is. Ironically enough, there are too many theories as to who,
Oh
or
my
even
god,
what
like this. You like this, don't
Dante
you?
is. Ironically enough, this video is a bunch of theorizations. But sometimes, we should just
With
shut
a
our
little
brains
bit
and
biased,
ask,
let's be real.
would they fuck? Dante, I feel like, would be the type of person to spend all their time focusing on their job and helping others rather than fighting love.
It's a maybe.
For now, I would consider them a virgin. But if their maidenless status is actually canon, then they can be rest assured knowing Mersalt is always at service.
Okay, you know what guys, I genuinely want to know your tier. I'm serious, go to the kitchen, make a coffee, take a deep breath, you know, stretch your fingers and type me your tier list. I'm genuinely curious if I am the only one who is like so off. Wait a minute, is this the end? What is this tier list? Why do we have like Vergilius and the Karen here then? Where are my last two characters? Oh my god, this video's gotta be a rage bait, right? I feel like this has to be like there is no other choice. Well, either way, I'm just gonna make it like really simple and quick. Both guys is gonna be almost certainly a virgin. Like I said, there is no shot. Unless you're counting Karen having some close relationship to the wheel and the gear inside of the bus, like there is no other shot. That character living for only one thing only, riding the bus, which actually she mentioned she only knows two directions, right? Like back and forth. Okay, I'm not gonna go like into this direction. Let's just move on. And Vergilius, let's be real, he's almost certainly a virgin, but based on what I've seen, how he treating the Karen, he would love to be with the Karen. And that's my own personal tier list. Please guys, let me know what do you think about this. This is a very, very serious topic. Anyway, it basically doesn't have to do much with the game, but this type of content is kind of fine. So yeah, maybe just let me know and I can create some, other tier lists. Like who is the biggest pussy? Anyway, just let me know. Hope you enjoy it and see you next time. Have a lovely day. Take care.